Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Sunday, June 1st, 2025. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your baseball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily rundown best bet in Major League Baseball, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Sunday in Major League Baseball. First up, the Roku game at 1:05 Eastern between the Cardinals and the Rangers. We got Eric Fedde and Jacob deGrom as the starters. Now, I do think this is a pretty lopsided pitching matchup in favor of the Rangers. The question with the Rangers this season, even with deGrom on the mound, is can they score enough runs to not only win, but cover the run line as a pretty sizable favorite? I think they can. Fedde struggled in his last start against the Orioles. He gave up 3 earned runs in just 5 innings, 5 total runs. And he's given up 3 bombs his last 2 games combined. The Cardinals have lost his last 3 starts. Now, only one of those 3 losses was by more than 1 run, but I still think that deGrom has been one of the best pitchers in the American League. I don't think he gives up much in this game. The Rangers' bullpen's been inconsistent, but I think it'll be good enough in this one and also not really be asked to do too much. I think deGrom can go 6-7 strong innings, and the Rangers can get some run support early. So give me the Rangers in this one on the run line, laying the 1.5 runs. Next up, we got the Atlanta Braves taking on the Boston Red Sox. We got Garrett Crochet and Bryce Elder as the starters. Another game where I do think that the Red Sox have a lopsided pitching advantage, at least to start this game. Crochet has been one of the better lefties in baseball. I've mentioned, I haven't loved what I've seen from the Braves against lefties recently. We saw in the beginning of the month of May, they had solid numbers, but now overall in the month, they had a 25% strikeout rate and a team OPS at 649 against lefties. I think Crochet has a good outing here, quality start, and I think that Bryce Elder is just not my favorite starting pitching option to back. I don't think he's a great starting pitching option for many teams. He's just not been he's pitched well in the minor leagues throughout his career, but hasn't really been consistent at the major league level with his control and hasn't really missed a lot of bats. So far this year, a 4.5 ERA. It's not been as bad as expected, but I still think that the Red Sox can get to him for a few runs, enough to win this game on the road. So give me Boston on the money line and run line. Next up, we got the Chicago White Sox taking on the Baltimore Orioles. Adrian Houser and Charlie Morton are the starters. Now, you may think I'm crazy, but I actually do trust Charlie Morton more in this spot than I do Adrian Houser, who's had 12 innings of shutout ball in his first 2 games of the season. Listen, Houser's pitched really well. I give him credit for those 2 strong outings, but you go back to last year, he was just not a viable starting pitching option. We faded him very often at an ERA above 5 with a good pitching organization and a pitcher-friendly ballpark in the Mets and Citi Field. And now, like I said, he's pitched really well so far, but I need to see more before I'm ready to back him in this spot on the road against an Orioles team. It's been a disaster, but it's still good enough against right-handed pitching where I think Houser struggles in this game. And, Charlie Morton, we've seen how bad he's been this season, but he is coming off his best start of the year by far. Had a quality start in that game against St. Louis. I think against one of the weakest lineups in baseball, Charlie can be good enough in this one for the Orioles bats to do the talking. So I'm going to roll with the Orioles in this one on the money line and run line at Camden Yards. Next up, we got the Milwaukee Brewers and the Philadelphia Phillies. We got Jose Quintana and Ranger Suarez as the starters. Suarez is in great form right now, 4-0 with a sub-3 ERA, and that ERA is where it is despite a really bad season debut. So he's just been really excellent in his last few starts. And facing a Brewers team in the month of May, 27th in team OPS, a 589 team OPS against lefties, high strikeout rate to go with it, low isolated power. The Phillies against lefties in the month of May, top 10 in team OPS and ISO with a high walk rate to go with it. I don't trust Quintana in this matchup, and I'm going to roll the Phillies and lay the 1.5 runs on the run line. Next up, we got the Athletics and the Blue Jays. We've got J.P. Sears and Kevin Gausman as the starters. All of a sudden, J.P. Sears, an ERA above 5 on the year. He was pitching really well, but has just gotten crushed in his last 2-3 starts, really. He's given up a ton of home runs and extra base hits in his last 2 games alone. 7 home runs in 8 1/3 innings against the Angels and the Astros. 15 earned runs and 18 base hits to go with it in those 2 losses. And his last 3 starts were 9-1, 10-5, and 11-1 losses for the Athletics. I just can't get there with Sears. I think he bounces back at some point, but in his current form against Kevin Gausman on the other side, I just can't get there with the A's in this one. So I'm going to roll the Blue Jays and lay the 1.5 runs on the run line. Next up, we've got the Angels and the Guardians. Jack Kohanowitz and Gavin Williams are the projected starters. I think we see a really competitive, high-scoring game in this one, and I wouldn't be surprised to see extra innings in this game. And the last time I said that on the rundown, the game actually did go to extra innings, so maybe worth the sprinkle of one of those will this game go to extra innings props that you can usually get some pretty good plus money. But the reason I say that is because I do expect both offenses to show up. I like both these offenses in this matchup against the opposing starting pitchers who have not done well against those rosters in their previous matchups, albeit very small sample sizes, 22 and 18 plate appearances respectively. But, obviously Mike Trout back in the lineup. I think the Angels lineup already in the month of May has been, very solid, and the Guardians should be able to get to Kohanowitz for at least a few runs. So give me the over in Angels Guardians. If we get to extra innings, going to help us even more to get us over that total. Next up, we got the Rockies and the Mets. We got Carson Palmquist and Clay Holmes as the starters. Now, this is another one of those games, like we mentioned on Saturday, just no value. The Mets are giant favorites. If I had to choose, I guess I would lean Mets minus 2.5 runs, but you'll be on your own for that one, as I just don't see any value here. Clay Holmes should pitch well against the weakest lineup in baseball, and Palmquist has not been the sharpest in his first 3 games at the major league level. I don't think he's a great starting pitching option for the Rockies right now, so I will lean towards the Mets and lay those 2.5 runs. Next up, we've got the Miami Marlins taking on the San Francisco Giants. We got Hayden Birdsong and Ryan Weathers as the starters. I think we see a low-scoring game. I would take the under in the full game, maybe just under first 5. But Ryan Weathers has been thrown into some tough spots in his first 3 games of the season, facing the Cubs and Padres, and the Cubs back-to-back starts. It's never easy facing the same lineup in the same week, but let alone one of the best offenses in baseball in Chicago. And he still went 10 innings combined of 2-run baseball and got a win in one of those games, 3-1 the final. His last game, he was good enough to get the win against San Diego and went to extra innings, and they lost 4-3. But it was 2 unearned runs on a miserable error, and I forgot what inning it was in. But Connor Norby airmailed the first baseman, led to 2-run scoring. But outside of that, Weathers was virtually perfect in that game, 6 strikeouts and 5 2/3. So he's in great form. Birdsong's pitched well as a starting pitcher in his first 2 starts. Against the Tigers, he got into some trouble in his last game and gave up 3 runs and 4 1/3, but still looked strong overall, had 6 strikeouts, and faces a weaker lineup here. So give me the under in Marlins Giants. Next up, we got the Detroit Tigers taking on the Kansas City Royals. Kiter Montero and Chris Bubich are the starters. Now, Bubich was the starting pitcher that going into the season we really liked, and we were looking for big things from him in 2025. I didn't expect these types of numbers towards the end of May. A 1.45 ERA is the best in baseball in terms of qualifying starting pitchers. 70 strikeouts is top 20 in the league. 1.01 WHIP is top 15. He's just been excellent. The Royals have won 4 of his last 5 games. Even though it's the Tigers, the division-leading team, I still think Bubich puts together a strong outing. Goes 6, maybe 7 innings, where he's gone 7+ innings in 3 of his last 4. And Montero pitched well last time out, but I still don't trust him as a viable starting pitching option. I don't love him in this matchup against KC, so give me the Royals in this one on the money line and run line. Next up, we got the Tampa Bay Rays and the Houston Astros. We got Taj Bradley and Hunter Brown as the starters. Now, we saw the same pitching matchup on May 21st, and that was actually a Rays win, 8-4 the final. Bradley went 6 innings, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts. Brown really struggled. It was his weakest start of the season, but that was at Steinbrenner Field, very hitter-friendly park this year. I think now back at Daikin, where Brown's been excellent this year, you look at his home and road splits. At home, 24 2/3 with a 171 opponent's batting average, 33 strikeouts in those 24 2/3, and a 1.09 ERA. It's tough to go against Brown in this spot, even though the Rays got to him about 10 days ago. I think that the Astros can not necessarily crush Bradley, but get a few more runs off him in this game. And I think the Astros will win it. Not my favorite game on the board because I just don't love the price we're getting with Houston, but I'll lean towards the Astros at home. Next up, the Cincinnati Reds and the Chicago Cubs. We got Nick Martinez and Jameson Taillon as the starters. Now, Martinez did get the road win in his last start against the Royals, but overall this season, he has not been great on the road. The Reds have lost a majority of his starts in general, not just all away from Great American. And I still have to fade him in this spot against one of the best lineups in baseball. I think Taillon could be good enough. He's in good form right now. Even though he was giving up a lot of home runs in his recent starts, he's settled down a little bit more recently in his last 2 games, 13 1/3 innings, with 9 strikeouts and only 2 runs given up. So give me the Cubs in this one on the money line and run line. Next up, we've got the Minnesota Twins and the Seattle Mariners. We've got Chris Paddock and Luis Castillo as the starters. Now, I could see Castillo being the better starting pitcher through the first 5-6 innings of this game. I could also see these two canceling each other out because Paddock is in great form right now for the Twins. But for me, nonetheless, if this is a close game late, I like the Twins' chances to find the win. As we saw in the first game of the series, which really wasn't even that close. It was 6-3 in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs. And we saw Castro at a 2-run shot, and then Larnach with the RBI single to tie it. The Twins go crazy in the 10th inning to grab the win, and that was against Munoz, who has been arguably the best reliever and closer in Major League Baseball this year. I've talked about it a few times. Not only do I think the Twins' bullpen is the best bullpen in Major League Baseball, but I also think the Mariners' bullpen is a little bit overrated. And when you look at the numbers in terms of projected WAR, that is the case. They're right around league average at best in some of those underlying numbers. So I do think the Twins have a good shot here if this is a close game late. And, Castillo gave up 9 base hits in his last game. So while he's been in great form overall, I didn't love to see that. He's given up a good amount of base runners this year, ranked outside the top 50 in baseball in WHIP. So give me the Twins in this one, and I'm going to take them on a pretty good price in the money line. Next up, the Washington Nationals and the Arizona Diamondbacks. We got Mitchell Parker and Corbin Burnes as the starters. I like the over, and I like the Diamondbacks. I don't think Burnes will be perfect, but I think he'll be good enough and let the bats do the talking against Mitchell Parker, who last year was miserable on the road, and this year is just right now really struggling, and it's been at home and on the road. His last game at T-Mobile Park was 4 2/3, 4 earned runs, and 3 home runs. It's not easy giving up home runs at T-Mobile Park, let alone 3 in one start, but that just goes to show you, Parker is just not in good form overall. These are 2 of the worst bullpens in baseball. I think we see a lot of runs, but I think Diamondbacks do most of that talking. So give me the Diamondbacks on the run line and the over. Next up, we got the Pittsburgh Pirates and the San Diego Padres. Andrew Heaney and Randy Vasquez are the starters. I don't think that Randy Vasquez should be this steep of a favorite, even against the Pittsburgh Pirates, even at Petco Park. And even though Randy has been in decent form as of late, I still think when you look at his expected numbers, you look at his walk-to-strikeout ratio overall this year, not good enough for me. Andrew Heaney does not have great numbers against his current San Diego Padres lineup, but the Padres against lefties in the month of May were nothing special, and Heaney is in good form overall. He's been better on the road. Even his last game where he got crushed at Chase Field, he still has a sub-4 ERA on the road this season. So give me the Pirates in this one, plus the 1.5 runs on the run line. Next up, the New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Dodgers. We've got no official starter right now for New York, but Yoshinobu Yamamoto should be going for LA. I'm going to lean towards the Dodgers in the first 5 innings. This is one of those games where I do really want to see who the Yankees go with to start this game, or if it's more of a bullpen game. I still think that Yamamoto will pitch well in the first 5. It wouldn't surprise me, though, to see the Yankees win the full game because I like their bullpen advantage, especially with all the Dodgers' injuries in that bullpen right now. But Yamamoto, in limited work against the current Yankees lineup, got great numbers. He's been excellent at Dodger Stadium this year with a sub-2 ERA. So I do think the Dodgers will have the lead through the first 5. So give me LA in the first 5 money line, or you can lay a half a run to get an even better price. And that's it. Those are the games for Sunday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium, and there is a link in the description. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.